Coming up now is my recipe from the book Lookit Cookit, Kitchen Games for Curious Children. This was made more than a year ago when I was having COVID, and there I am in my pajamas talking to you and showing you how it's done. The recipe is for the best non-alcoholic drink you will have thought of, and I challenge you when you offer it to your friends for them to guess what it's made from. It's very unlikely they're going to guess the one ingredient that makes this drink great. So here it is. Hello everyone, I'm Judy Jackson and here I am in my kitchen. Now the only difference this time is that I have COVID and I've been in my flat for a whole week on my own doing very little except isolating. But now I'm getting back to work. Now I hope you'll forgive me if I go back to one of the books that I discussed a little while ago. The book is called Lookit Cookit, Kitchen Games for Curious Children. Now don't worry if you're not a child. It's the games part that is fun. This is all about quizzes and mostly about things you don't know. Now what you don't know, and you're going to know by the end of this video, is how to make the most incredible drink. It's not an alcoholic drink. It looks exactly like white wine. It's prepared in about 10 or 15 minutes. The most extraordinary thing is that it's made with just one main ingredient. And I want you to watch it because I really do think that you and your friends are going to love it. Here's what I'm going to make. This is wine made from tomatoes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that into this, which is absolutely clear and is the most delicious drink. So now this is what we're going to do with it. We're starting with different kinds of very good tomatoes. As well as the tomatoes, you need just a few other things. You need sugar and salt and a little bit of black pepper, and then you need fresh basil. Now here I have a plant of Greek basil, and believe it or not Italian, but this is more basil, and this one is grown in Kenya. I have to tell you that this one has the most wonderful smell, and this one doesn't smell at all, but looks pretty. To make the mixture, have ready a couple of glass bowls, a strainer, a jug, and a handkerchief. If, as I suspect, you don't have a handkerchief, you can buy something called muslin cloth squares. You can buy these online and it's about £1 each. I'm cutting the tomatoes up roughly. It doesn't matter exactly what shape or they are, just so that you open them and make sure that they are easy to handle. I'm using £1 or half a kilo of unpeeled tomatoes chopped up, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar, 3 basil leaves and a little bit of ground pepper. And I'm going to buzz it all up in a food processor. After a few minutes, the roughly chopped tomato pieces will end up as a beautiful smooth puree. Now you're ready to pour it onto the handkerchief. Do this carefully and do remember 2 things. Please don't stir it and don't squash it at all. All you need to do is to hold the corners of the handkerchief, lift them up carefully and then tie it very loosely. Now put it in the fridge for half an hour to 1 hour. You can see it's already beginning to drip through, and after that time you will have your wine. This amount will make 2 or 3 glasses, but if you want more, just remember you can double or triple the recipe. Just before I go, I want to tell you a little bit more about the book. And as I told you, it's called Lookit Cookit, Kitchen Games for Curious Children. I'm also going to put up the link to the other video I made, which explains why I wrote this book, what it's all about, and why it's particularly fun. Now, one last thing. In London, there is a famous restaurant called the River Cafe, and it's run by Ruth Rogers. It is the most successful restaurant ever, and I would say that the books she has written have been incredibly successful. Now, the name of her latest book is Look Cook. is Lookit Cookit. I'm not pretending for a moment that Ruth Rogers would ever have heard of mine, because mine has stayed in anonymity and quiet insignificance on the shelves for a very long time. So I just hope that you might like to have a look at this book and try some of the really fun and interesting things in it.